Hey everybody, before the video actually starts, I wanted to let you guys know the reaction portion of this video unfortunately has a lot of dropped frames. I did not notice it till after recording the video. I'm so frustrated, I'm so angry, like my blood is boiling, seriously. So I pushed through, I'm going to put the video out. I hope you guys still enjoy it, even though there's a lot of segments with the reaction portion that are dropped frames, and the reaction, I'm jumping all over the place and it's freezing. I'm very sorry. I'm getting a new computer literally tomorrow as I'm uploading this video, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm very sorry, but here's the video. I hope you guys somewhat enjoy the reaction, and hope you guys just enjoy the video. Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another reaction. Today, guys, I'm checking out Arrow Season 8, Episode 6, entitled Reset. I have so many questions. I'm so excited for this episode because the ending of the last episode was freaking bonkers. So, Laurel, who could have easily portrayed Oliver, which I thought that was a silly thing to throw into the mix because we have a limited amount of episodes, like very limited. At the end of episode 4 of this season, the Monitor, who I thought wasn't the Monitor, but it turns out it was telling Laurel, hey, if you want to save your Earth, you have to portray Oliver Queen. I'm like, do we really need this right now? Do we? Laurel, at the end of the episode, last episode, episode 5, said, no, I'm not going to betray, and goes to Harbinger, Lila, and then brings forth Diggle and Oliver, and basically, she had to have told them, because they're like, what? And Diggle's like, what's going on? Like, I forget the exact wording, but Diggle was like, really, like, you could tell on his face, he's like, what the fuck? They all get hit with darts, and they all pass out, and then it cuts. I'm thinking, what? Wait, you can't end it there, and they did, so I have so many questions. I don't know what the hell is going to happen in this episode, but we are down to the wire, because after this episode, we have one more episode, and then after that, then the Arrow episode airs, I think, in January or whatever, but we have one more episode of Arrow before Crisis begins. Oh, I'm not ready. I am not ready for Crisis, but I'm excited as hell for this episode. So that's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to stop rambling. Let's get into now episode 6 of Season 8 of Arrow Reset. Let's go.
How do we get here? What do you mean? I was on a roof with John and Laurel, and we were
Yeah.
You look like you don't remember any of this.
I'm confused.
Party started an hour ago.
What is going on?
Do you remember eating Trank last night?
Yeah, Lila feels awful about that.
This is the Monitor. Oh, your wife is working with the Monitor, John. What?
I thought we already settled this.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter, Oliver? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Oh! Yes!
It's been a while since I've seen you. A couple of days, maybe. You're looking at me like it's been years.
It has been years.
That son of a bitch almost killed me. He was dying. You don't remember?
Alternate reality.
Different time before I ordered this.
It's so cool seeing Quentin stand next to Oliver again. That's awesome.
Actually, I think you're already in trouble.
I'm the one holding the gun. Not for long. Put it down.
Ooh. What? It's a loop! It's a loop!
Did something happen at the SCPD headquarters?
Like what?
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
I have been here before. So have you. What are you talking about?
He's like, what?
Oliver seems to think that he's caught in some sort of time loop.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling back in time, I'd like to revisit my 20s.
I will need to.
Uh-huh.
We've had this exact conversation already.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's complicated.
How can I help? Do you actually believe me? Oliver, I've seen one daughter die.
Yeah.
Back to life twice. I've seen another come from some other Earth. I've seen a guy in red run so fast he can reverse.
This is so crazy to watch.
Stop right there.
Oh,
Hey!
it's you.
Hello!
How did you know about the bomb?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Well, actually, since you're not going to...
Are you experiencing it too?
Anyway, there is a crazy space god who has me trapped in a time loop.
Yeah, me too.
Are we talking formaware or...
That explosion didn't start from the bomb, though.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? It came from, like, the sides.
I'm just really happy to see you.
This is good for her. This is... Oh, I love it.
Oscillating frequency.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to figure this out. They may. Oh!
small talk with the monitor's bestie. The next time you decide to double-cross someone, don't pick a woman who specializes in revenge.
Ooh.
You're threatening me.
It's a good response.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yes.
So you're telling me we're in some kind of alternate reality?
Yes, because you're supposed to be dead.
What's that look?
It's just that,
There's something else?
Yes.
Laurel, sweetheart, I always know when you're hiding something from me. Please tell me, what is it? I didn't recover.
oh, you died.
I feel so bad. I thought I would never see them together again, all three of them. And the fact that Laurel's is able to talk to Quentin, even though it's not really Quentin, it just... Another bomb! Oh!
It seems pretty clear to me that we're not supposed to win.
The first time that
It seems that way.
you're telling me we've been here once and still came back for more.
At least
Yes.
I know what's not.
It's so weird having Quentin being told over and over and over what's happening.
Global Solutions, they have a warehouse down by the docks. Let's go.
Of course they have a warehouse. He got shot in the chest immediately.
Like we lost this round.
No, I'm not letting you die again. I want you to know that you were the reason that I'm trying to be here.
Yes.
Love you.
She needed to hear that. And then he dies. Fuck.
I can't do this again.
It hasn't reset.
Oliver.
I wasn't expecting it to reset again.
She's not here.
Where is she?
Well, the only way to win is to accept the inevitable.
I have no idea what that means.
Learn that, and this will end.
So if me dying is a problem, maybe bringing me into the lion's den isn't so smart?
I mean, he's got a point. What? He just keeps on going. Jesus. My God. Lots of explosions.
Sure, what's it gonna be? 60 times, 100 times. It's gonna be however many times it takes. Oliver, you take care of these guys. There'll be more behind them. There will
Yeah.
be more behind them. There is no saving me from this. Okay? It looks like fate's knocking. I'll see you on the other side, Oliver. Just what a gift. Getting to know you all has been. I'm just really proud of all you guys.
You're gonna be fine.
So are you. All of you will be. Back when I was running around, you were trying to arrest me, you remember that? Oh, yeah. The good old days, how can I ever forget? You trusted them? Yeah, they got me to listen to what I always knew, Micah. That we were on the same side and fighting for the same goal. And Oliver, is there any particular reason for this trip down memory lane?
Because he's saying goodbye.
Oh, I shouldn't have to say goodbye to you again. Goodbye?
Yep.
Evening's just getting started. Thank you, Quentin. For everything. Mr. Mayor.
I wish there was a hug. Aww.
Mr. Mayor.
Congratulations, Oliver.
I knew it.
Now you understand. You complete your final mission.
Final mission?
Because deep down, I still believed that I could fight my fate.
Seems like there's no fighting it.
Where the hell are we?
I'm pretty sure I'm the NU. I think.
We're on the end, you.
This freaking episode, man. This freaking episode. I was not expecting it to go that direction. I wasn't. So first things first, I really enjoyed this episode. To me, this was a really good episode. I like the fact that it was really emotional. It had a huge impact on Laurel and Oliver especially. I like the aspect of it being a loop, Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, whatever. I like the fact that it was just seeing different perspectives of the same day or the same evening over and over. And Quentin Lance. Now, they announced he was returning, Paul Blackthorne, who plays Quentin Lance. They announced he was returning, but around the time they announced it, I thought it was for the series finale, which would make sense. I'm not sure how, but it would make sense. But then he pops up. And I like the fact that Oliver immediately started to put things together, and I like how they made it to where this version of Quentin, after being told one time, and Oliver just had to tell him a little bit of information after Oliver woke up the second time in the loop and realized it was a loop and experiencing the same things, that Quentin just kind of said, yeah, because this happened, this has happened, I've seen the Flash, this does not surprise me, there's a loop going on. And then they're having to, so instead of like having to tell Quentin over and over and over and over and over in different ways, they just have little lines that Quentin says as they're looping again, where he's like, so you're telling me, so wait, we're going back here again? It's like, it's a nice way to get around it. And here's what I like. So David Ramsey, if I looked at my information correctly, let me double check that. I believe David Ramsey directed this episode of Arrow. Let me double check if I can find the information. Jesus. Finally, after like 30 seconds, yes, David Ramsey, John Diggle, directed this episode. Here's what I like what David did with directing this episode, is that each time there was a loop and we were going back to a similar place that we've already previously visited, because at some points we were going to new areas because Oliver or Laurel learned different information, so they're able to kind of bypass certain things. That the actual camera angles and how the scene going back to it again is being played out again is different. It's not like we're following the same exact. Now, the waking up, rising, like especially the waking up part where the camera's super close on the eyes, that was similar. But then whenever Oliver's rising off the couch, different angles and then different ways where the new generation Arrow, the new Team Arrow from 2040 are coming through the door with the same conversation. It's different angles, and then it just keeps on going. There is one thing I wasn't quite sure why it was in the mix. Why did they have that guy over and over and over? Hey, you know the difference between cops and the... Like, shut up. I don't know why that guy was always there. Is it like a dude who got a favor, and the favor was that he can fucking be on an episode of Arrow? They should have just hired me for that part. Anyways. So... I like the fact that there was quite a bit amount of action in this episode, but I think what's most important about this episode is the fact that it has a huge impact on Oliver and Laurel as well. I really felt that they handled Quentin's death, his true death in season 6, horribly. I remember vividly watching the episode and my power went out for like 3-4 minutes. It was such a pain in the ass, and I missed Quentin's death. I knew it was coming. Come on. But I had to go back and watch it after the fact, but I felt like they could have handled it better, because they just had to where the doctor comes in, he didn't make it. It's like we could have done something more with that, but I think they handled it poorly. But what I like what they did with here is that yes, Quentin dies over and over and over, which is like, Jesus, this is fucking overkill. It is overkill for the character. But what I like is that Laurel and Oliver both were experiencing the time loop and everyone else wasn't. But Laurel was there to have a chance to finally say goodbye to Quentin. And Oliver's there is to finally realize and accept the fact he cannot change the outcome. And here's what I really like about Oliver in terms of this aspect. And I'll talk about Laurel's stuff in a second. Here's what I like about Oliver in this instance. He was so bound and determined. Because his thought process, and I agreed with him to an extent. I'm like, yeah, this is another test. Because Oliver's like, this is clearly a test. We have to win. We have to make it to where Quentin makes it out of this. And, you know, the hit that's put out on him or whatever, the bomb. Because every time the bomb went off, it was coming from the sides, not from the bomb that was actually sitting there in front of them. It was always like coming from the sides in. So clearly it was a monitor-centric reset. It wasn't the actual bomb. I mean, the bomb exploded, but it looks more like that light that came in that brought the 2040 kids to present day. So I like the fact that Oliver was being stubborn, but he was trying so hard to keep Quentin alive. And it had to be really hard for him to say goodbye. And I really wish he would have I really wish there was a hug involved. Even though he's saying goodbye to it's not even Quentin. It's not real. But still, give a hug to Quentin. And the fact that he watched Renee come in, tell him about the hostages, and realizing what was going to happen to Quentin, and he accepted it and walked away. He didn't try to interfere. Damn. It's emotional. But it had to be done. And I think it was kind of brutal. At one point, Lila stepped in and shot Quentin to reset it, because Oliver needed to accept the fact that he can't change fate. So he won the test after many failures. And the last time Quentin sacrificed himself and took his vest off and everything, he was accepting the fact that, Oliver, you can't win this. Even he was telling him, you can't win this. When he is the guy you're trying to protect, and Quentin's like, no, I think I just have to accept it. It's crazy how they tied it in with the fact of that Diaz shot him and he didn't make it in the actual timeline. But in this reality, he miraculously survived it. So it wasn't like where Quentin is just here for no reason. They tied it into him being the mayor. He survived the gunshot wound. So in this reality, he didn't die. He survived post season 6, and he knew about what happened to Oliver going to prison. It was such a crazy tie-in. Now with Laurel, I think that's very applause worthy of the Monitor. Even though Laurel was trying really hard to help and actually stop, like Oliver was doing, stop Quentin from dying, Laurel was given the chance and the ability to hear her dad's, or her Earth One dad's, final words, and to have a moment to say goodbye and how he loved her and everything. It was just like, Jesus, because if there would have been moments like that before the real Quentin died, I think Laurel would have definitely became the Black Canary and started doing some good way before she did in the actual timeline of the Arrowverse. And the line she said about, "I'm doing this because of you. I'm being a hero. I'm trying to do this because of you." It's like, it needed to be said. Oh man, it was pretty. I was not expecting. The action was really good too. I think David Ramsey did a great job directing the action in this episode, and he did a great job of conveying this story. Because there's been many times where shows, and of course movies like I reference, have done this type of scenario. We're living the same thing over and over and over. And I think they did a pretty good job handling that type of story, for sure. Ending up lonely and you, very intriguing. I'm curious to see where we go from there, in terms of why they're there. And it's crazy because Oliver had mentioned this just in the last episode to William and Mia about Leanne Yu. Now they're back. So I wonder what the final test is, what the final mission, what is the final mission? I don't know, but they're all there, and I guess we'll find out. So there you have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this episode of Arrow. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.